Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is a new presentation from www.central-mosque.com and the Humble Heart YouTube channel. This is the 30th episode of the Making Sense series, and today we're going to talk about 5 of the greatest blunders of Imran Khan. Before we proceed, let's just recap some of the earlier presentations that I've done. Who are the political players in Pakistan against Imran Khan? So you have the ex three-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, his brother Shehbaz Sharif, the current Prime Minister, his daughter Maryam Nawaz, Zardari, which is the husband of Benazir, and Maulana Fazlur Rahman. These are some of the players. In fact, this is an alliance of 13 plus political parties. In fact, all of the previous political parties against one man, Imran Khan. The reason all of these have risen up against Imran Khan is if Imran Khan's government would have stayed, is he would have opened up all the corruption reports and investigations and sent all of these people to jail. So these 13 plus political parties have formed an alliance, and right now this is the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, and they do not want Imran Khan to come back to power. Otherwise, all of the corruption cases, etc., will be reopened. And to them, the people of Pakistan and everybody has very clearly said, absolutely not. They have rejected this entire alliance, and they want Imran Khan back. Now, this is the political situation, but who's actually pulling the strings behind the scenes? Because those 13 plus people are not capable of doing that. It is the US Department of State. The US Department of State wanted Imran Khan to go because of two reasons. Number one is he wanted a Islamic bloc on a global scale to actually raise the issue of the honor, the stature of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Islamophobia, etc. He wanted to chart out an independent foreign policy, and they have given that charge to this stooge right here, which is the current the commander of Pakistan Army. They call it COAF, Chief of Army Staff, General Qamar Bajwa, and he is using counter-terrorism tactics against the population of Pakistan, against a country of 220 million. By the way, I'm recording this on the 21st of August, and the latest situation right now is there are multiple teams of doctors attending to him because he can't sleep at night, etc. Because whatever tactic he's tried against Imran Khan has completely failed, and we're going to talk about it in a second. When it comes to the Pakistani armed forces, to their credit, it is one of the only armed forces, and together with the Inter-Services Intelligence (ISI), which is one of the top performing agencies in the world, have defeated the menace of terrorism in Pakistan and pushed the insurgents and everything, driven them out of the country, and the north of the country is peaceful as of right now. What they've done is they've all of the lessons that they've learned over the last 10 years, they're trying to turn it over and apply it to the population of Pakistan. So as of now, August 21st, 2022, what is happening in Pakistan? Number one, this guy, Shehbaz Gill, he is a professor in Illinois, and he went to Pakistan, left his job in America as a professor, earning over $200,000, and joined Imran Khan. And he's not a political member. He was the chief of staff of Imran Khan. Right now, he is under arrest. He's been raped and tortured. Imran Khan, his rallies and speeches have been banned on Pakistan TV, on any Pakistani TV channel. Last night, the police have filed a report for his arrest. So, because Imran Khan's live speeches, etc., have been banned in Pakistan, but there's such a huge following on social media, particularly in YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc., that what his party did is they simultaneously gave rights to, I think, about 500 plus YouTube channels to broadcast all of his speeches, etc. So, as of about half an hour ago, YouTube has been taken down in Pakistan. So, they are trying all these tactics from 1970s, thinking that they can ban him, etc. So, that's not going to work. This is a highly dangerous situation because 90% of the country stands with Imran Khan, and one guy, the chief of army staff, at the behest of US State Department and in collusion with these 13 politicians, are trying to suppress Imran Khan and trying to arrest him, etc. So this can only head for disaster. So while everybody's talking about Imran Khan, what I want to do is talk about what are the five key blunders in my mind that Imran Khan committed, which it's everybody makes mistakes. No man is perfect. Every man makes mistakes, but some of those blunders have been catastrophic. So blunder number one. So this guy right here, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, who is currently behind all the scheme and using the tools of the military and the anti-terrorism tactics to suppress Imran Khan and the population of Pakistan. He was going to retire November 2019. By the way, most of these things, all five of these blunders, I don't know if it's a coincidence or what happened in November 2019, December 2019, or January 2020, like within a space of 3 months or so. He was going to retire November 2019. I don't know what possessed Imran Khan to grant him an extension, and that's usually not the way the military works. The way military works is a general comes in, he becomes the chief of army staff. Everybody who is, who is beneath him, who are his, the other lieutenant generals and stuff, are kind of a year behind him in seniority, stuff like that. So they kind of work together because they've come together. So these extensions, it is not good for the morale of the military. It's not good for the functionality of the military. But Imran Khan, for some bizarre reason, decided to give him an extension in November 2019. The Supreme Court of Pakistan ruled that this was not legal. What does Imran Khan do? He uses his political party to create an amendment in the Constitution of Pakistan for the first time in the history of Pakistan, and gives this guy a 3-year extension. And now this guy is behind suppressing Imran Khan. So this is a huge, huge blunder. So not only he gave him an extension, he actually carved a place in the Constitution of Pakistan to do that. Absolutely horrendous. And as a result, all of this suppression of Imran Khan and stuff is kind of been brought about by this blunder number one. Blunder number two. So in Pakistan, elections and everything are overseen by the Election Commission of Pakistan, and the guy who's in charge of it is Election Commissioner. Imran Khan appointed this guy, Sikandar Sultan Raja, who's been suppressing Imran Khan's party, rigging votes, taking out proper people, not granting them the right for voting, etc., etc. And guess who appointed this guy in January 2020? Sikandar Sultan Raja. He was appointed by Imran Khan, and this guy today is suppressing the political will, democratic will of the people of Pakistan, and not bringing elections forward and doing all sorts of stuff at every level to thwart Imran Khan from coming back. And what has now come to light is Imran Khan appointed this guy at the behest of the chief of staff of the Pakistan Army. Now this makes absolutely no sense. I mean, this is absolutely stupid. Why would the chief of army staff suggest a guy to be the election commissioner? Like this is ridiculous, right? And those who defend Imran Khan, I believe Imran Khan is absolutely the right choice for Pakistan right now. But this was an error of colossal proportions. So not only the military and the intelligence apparatus is suppressing Imran Khan to the point where his chief of staff is being raped in prison, politically, this guy has thwarted every single plan. Blunder number three. So in my previous videos, as you've seen, I've talked about the provinces of Pakistan, and one of the largest provinces of Pakistan by population is Punjab. So in order to rule Pakistan, you have to rule the province of Punjab. Imran Khan appointed this guy as the chief minister of Punjab, Usman Buzdar. Now, things which happened against Imran Khan's party, they were shelling on his, peaceful gatherings, etc. Women, children were shelled, brutally suppressed, etc. by that provincial police. The way things happen is just replacing one guy on the top is not the answer. There is an entire machinery underneath it. All these, let me take you back to this slide right here of all these corrupt people. They have ruled Pakistan over 30, 35, 40 years, and they have appointed key people. And so the entire bureaucracy and the entire machinery, whether it is the police or the paramilitary forces or the election commission or people underneath it, are their people. So what Imran Khan failed to do in this blunder number three is this guy, what he should have done is retired people and purged the government and its machinery of all these corrupt people and appointed, good people, honest people, credible people. He did not do that. So as soon as Imran Khan's government was thrown out, because of the collusion of the U.S. State Department, the Chief of Army Staff, and those corrupt politicians, the rest of the machinery was still in place, and they thwarted and every effort legally of Imran Khan to come back. Huge blunder in one of the biggest province of Pakistan by population. Blunder number four, which is Imran Khan's own blunder, is Pakistan has provinces, but there is a federal government, a federal police, you know um, and key positions. And again, Imran Khan did not ruthlessly purge the government of those 40 years of corrupt bureaucrats and officers who do the bidding. Because right now, what's happening is all these 13 politicians and all of the corrupt officers underneath them are fighting a battle for survival. They know if Imran Khan comes back and he does constitutional amendments and he starts going after all these corrupt people, they will go to prison or whatever the case may be. So all of this hodgepodge of people have united for their own survival. This was a huge blunder of Imran Khan. So the election, the judicial system, the bureaucracy, everything else has people who are corrupt to the core. Huge blunder of Imran Khan, in my opinion. Blunder number four. Blunder number five, and this is to do with foreign policy. Turkey and Malaysia and Pakistan wanted to form an alternative bloc to what we today known as OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries, or the Arab League, its sister organization, which basically, since its formation, has done absolutely nothing. I challenge anybody who's watching this video to tell me the Organization of Islamic Countries have taken a stance against, the oppression of Palestinians at the hands of Israelis, or the oppression of Kashmiris, or anywhere else in Africa where things are happening, or played any positive role. Absolutely nothing. So what Turkey and Malaysia and Pakistan, and Imran Khan was, he was part of these negotiations with Turkey and Malaysia, wanted to form an alternative bloc where they would at least form a alternative media channel, which, like, kind of like CNN or kind of like Al Jazeera, but they will actually portray things against Islamophobia. They will portray things about the honor of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they would play a positive role at a global stage. Also, the halal certification system, you can travel from England to America to Malaysia to Pakistan to Turkey to Saudi Arabia. There is no globally recognized halal guidelines. So, there's a hodgepodge of it, and I've done a lot of research, and someday I'll do a comprehensive video. But, so what is dhabiha? So when you have a dhabiha chicken, a halal slaughtered chicken, what are the guidelines you're supposed to follow globally? There's no such thing. So they were going to do a lot of good work. And there was a conference, I forget at this time, in December 2019, if it was in Malaysia, I believe. And China was willing to step in and provide technical expertise, etc., to make this bloc happen, because it was in the interest of China. The reason being is the current bloc, Organization of Islamic Countries, and the Arab League, is totally run by US and the US State Department. Whatever the US says, they do. Imran Khan at the last minute boycotted that, okay, and left Malaysia and Turkey, astounded, angry, upset, because without the participation of Pakistan, any Islamic bloc is pretty much meaningless. What that does is that left a bad and taste in the mouth of the Chinese, the Turkish, and the Malaysian people at a government level. So when Imran Khan's government was ousted, you don't see that much of a reaction from either Turkey, Malaysia, or China. So he basically shot himself in the foot. And this was, this might have, some people perceive this to be a blunder as a foreign policy, but it had a direct impact when Imran Khan's government went. So these are some of the blunders. So what we need to do is we need to actually identify and do a unbiased analysis of someone. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Some of these blunders, like, Imran Khan has openly admitted, like blunder number 2, where he appointed the election commissioner of Pakistan. He's even said it. He goes, first one, he's alluded to that he is the one who gave extension to the guy who's now oppressing the Pakistani people. He cannot do that for legal reasons. He has not named names, but he's pointed to it. But other ones, people are, other people are pointed to it, etc., etc. But in my mind, these are 5 critical blunders which today, August 21st, 2022, Imran Khan, his party, and the people of Pakistan are paying for. So in the end, my du'as are with the people of Pakistan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring peace, prosperity, and security back to Pakistan and bring Imran Khan back to Pakistan, because at this time he is the best person to rule Pakistan and to take the people of Pakistan forward. The country has a huge potential, to move forward, and they can move forward, and they were moving forward under Imran Khan. If this guy, the military chief of Pakistan, he continues to suppress the people of Pakistan and the will of people of Pakistan and the demand of Imran Khan to have a free and fair elections, then there's going to be a civil war in Pakistan. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So let's hope that sense prevails and they don't do that, because this is not the 1970s, this is not the 1980s, and Pakistan is not Egypt. If this guy, you know, orders Pakistan army to open fire on the people of Pakistan. Pakistan army doesn't have a history of that. They don't do that. They don't kill their own people, etc., etc. It's not like Egypt where they went around and killed millions of people with Islamic leaning, etc. And suppressed Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Pakistani army will not do that. And the second difference is Pakistan has existential threats from India and from other parts of Afghanistan, not Taliban, other parts of Afghanistan who want to do terrorism in Pakistan, and Pakistan is nuclear armed. So it's Pakistan is right now sitting on a powder keg situation, and the least this guy can do right here is leave, or something else may happen to him to actually spare the entire country, because of the will of one person at the behest of the US State Department has created chaos in a country of 220 million people. Jazakallahu khairan. Make dua. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.